Tell me exactly what am I supposed to do now that I have allowed you to beat me? Do you think that we could play another game? Maybe I could win this time. I kinda like the misery you put me through. Darling, you can't trust me completely. If you even try to look the other way, I think that I could kill this time. Rock, rock.
There we go. Oh no. VC face. Stat. Gaming. Yeah, boy. Where's my alerts? Alert box 1. Edit alert. Yeah. Alright, send test. Oh shit. Oh shit. Send test. Is that the wrong one? Again? Alerts. This one. There we go. That's the one we want. Alright, we go back. Alerts. We'll delete this one. Delete. Yes. There we go. That's way better. Alright, tree manager. Alright. Let's throw you over here. Let's reset. Camera. Alright. We're continuing for ending 3. Duh. I think. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that. Ending 3 of IWHTG Hug That Gator. Where were we? Start load. Yeah, we first or second day of school, third day of school. We submitted our art competition submission. And we met the crew. Say, sir. All right. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Hope I didn't just jinx myself. My nerves had been acting up when I first stepped back into the classroom. Made it even worse when I was hit with another flashbang. After my 20 other classmates had finished laughing, Mr. Adakin made a show of waving a freshly taken photo. A freshly take. God damn it. Alright, it's gonna be one of them days. Freshly taken photo from a fancy fold-up camera from the 70s. Oh god, what was the voice I did happy? I dubbed this portrait. I'm not doing that word. Alright, hold on. Okay, we're doing it. De étonnant sample. Pronunciation. Alright, here we go. Man, it's not giving me anything. Alright. Close enough. Where you at, VC face? Where are you hiding over there? Alright. I dubbed this portrait dead on pole. Alright, whatever. After he thumbtacked the shot on a corkboard filled with poor snapshots of everyone else, Mr. Adakin reassured me and sat me right next to Ben. God damn it. He managed to sum up his syllabus in under a minute, instead taking the majority of the time to go over our first lesson, an assignment on exposure and lighting. With each new light fixture he brought out and explained, I felt my mind swirl faster with new possibilities of old shots. If only I had that then, or wait. We're gonna fuck around with this. Wait. Yes. If only I had that then, or it could have been used there. Nailed it. Now that you've had a small taste of it, we'll start on your first photography assignment, proper lighting. I am salivating at the thought. Mr. Dawkins had just finished his first lesson where he'd handed out all sorts of equipment to look over. It's the first time I've handled some of these things, like the enormous box light that was still taking up the entirety of my desk. Remember, though, that these are just tools meant to enhance the photo. You can highlight a turd all you want, it's still a turd. The crude language guarantees a chortle from few half-listening students. The teacher looks over the clock and hums. Well, I see that we managed to finish this lecture a tad bit early. Why don't you all take these last 10 minutes to compare notes, maybe even consider doing assignments as a collab piece with a classmate. The room is quick to fill with the sound of chatter. I wonder if Hey. I turn to Ben and see his eager grin. Do you want to do a joint piece? Since you don't know any good spots in the school and all. I pull out the assignment sheet from beneath the lightweight light on my desk and give it a quick scan again. Present a set of photos demonstrating your understanding of proper lighting. You are allowed to borrow one lighting tool and must take the shot on school premises. And I swear I've handed out this assignment for years now. If one more student just takes pictures of the hallway outside the classroom, I'm going to personally throw them over the railing. Be original, please. I got the perfect place for it. If we work together, we can use the two items. The offer is too tempting. Sure. I hold out my hand and Ben takes it and shakes it, sealing the pact. My face is feeling weird from all the smiling today. But in truth, I've been enjoying Mr. Dawkins' class so much I couldn't stop. It feels like the entire world to gain from Mr. Dawkins' lesson, and the entire world to explore, seeing as ever since the move, I hadn't had time to actually explore Volcatera Bluffs. Sure, on occasion I go out on my own to parks and stuff, but who does it? Besides, it'd be pretty lame photographer if I didn't go out and find stuff to photograph. And you know what? I've been meaning to do a little looking around here. So to everyone else, this assignment makes them have to explore the school, but I get it too. Pretty sweet deal if I do say so myself. The hall outside the classroom is only one major photo op. Between that and the murals outside, I'm certain to find something cool. Actually, give me a second here. It's bothering me.
If you take a step towards me, you will take my breath away. So I'll keep you close and keep my secrets safe. No one else has ever loved me, no one else has ever tried. I never understood how much I could take. Then I saw the worst was over when I laid my eyes on you. It was all that I could do to know my place.
All right, we're back. Let me throw that fucking thing back on. There we go. All right, back to gaming. Since it was my first thought to use them, that means it's likely someone else's first thought. Damn it! All right, we gotta be original with our goddamn art portfolio here. I need to think outside the box a bit. Think of some way to use the school's architecture to my advantage in the way that Inko. My thoughts are disrupted by a worried-looking Ben. Maybe you should see a doctor, man. Head injuries are no laughing matter. I'm fine. What were you saying? I was asking how you were doing, you know, with school and classes now. Oh, right. Doing good. Really good, actually. I'm in a class that I'm 100% enjoying and starting to make some genuine friendships. Compared to the disaster of yesterday, today has been outstandingly positive. That's good to hear. Yeah, I've even got some friends now. Great. Oh, and what about your art submission? Was Liz able to help? There's something nibbling at the corner of my thoughts at the mention of the long-necked girl. Yeah, she gave me my login stuff and everything. Uploading the submission was a piece of cake after all. Awesome. Though that does make you competition now. Both Liz and I have pieces in the running too. She told me she had submitted something, yeah. I'm a bit concerned since I didn't have as much time to prepare or anything, but hey, everyone's got a chance, you never know. Yeah, she was pretty cool about it too. That whole friend group is pretty welcoming. I think I'm pretty lucky. Lucky? Ben seems perplexed by my statement. You said something at lunch when Olivia vanished. I'm noticing for a silent paraplegic, she sure has a lot of people upset. You got some hidden drama with her too? No, not really. Wait, two? Who? Idaken calls out to us, striding over to inspect. I take it you two gentlemen are conversing about your assignment together? Of course, Mr. Idaken. We were just discussing where we take our pictures, right, Ben? Well, that's good then. Good thing you guys weren't talking about something off topic, like gossip. That'd be pretty embarrassing to use your time right off the bat, I think. Especially considering you're currently the subject of some fairly humorous gossip, aren't you, Mr. Nito? I'm awash in a wave of shame with his words. I look at Ben and I can see he feels it as well. If the air around someone needs clearing, clear it yourself. Idaken has a point. Maybe once our friendship is established, I can learn more about her. Alright, off you go now, and remember to get your assignment done by the end of the week. The room empties out slowly, most of my peers still chatting and discussing their plans for the assignment. Before I continue talking with Ben about our own project, the Stu co-president is already packed up and exiting the room. Guess we'll talk later then. Packing up my own notebook, I wave goodbye to my new favorite teacher and head off to my next class. Smack him. Smack Ben. Smack him. Walking into history class for the first time, and it's about what I expect it to look like. Pictures of historical figures, small relics from various regions, and cartography of the Earth during its stages of continental drift. Though I noticed there's a distinct lack of a teacher in the class. Must be finishing up their lunch, I assume. Well, better get a good seat now before they're all taken. Eeny, meeny, miny, this one. I settle myself into my chosen desk and pull out my history book and notebook, along with a pencil. As the classroom fills with more and more students, it becomes a blur of vibrant scales. A few minutes pass, and I'm still wondering where the teacher is. The suddenness of the door slamming open stops any and all noise. It's quiet enough to hear a pin drop. The figure walks in the classroom and... oh, sweet heaven, no. He stands there and stares down at everyone menacingly. He's the history teacher too? Oh wait, let's try it.
Let's try it. Thanks for walking me in my classroom, Sully.
Of course, Miss Procklin. Oh, thank Raptor Jesus, he isn't our teacher. The Raptor woman adjusts her glasses as she scans around the room before looking down at the paperwork in her hands. Yeah, I'm not doing the voice changer for this bitch. Alright, looks like we'll have some late arrivals, but let's get down to business. Alright, fuck it, we're doing it.
I know that I introduced myself yesterday, but for any of those who weren't here...
Her momentary glance at me makes me believe Sully told her about my absence.
My name is Miss Procklin, and this is history class. In this course, we'll be learning about the history of our primeval ancestors and their advancements through history. You can say that I'll be like going back in time. Doesn't that sound exciting?
Despite her admittedly forced enthusiasm, everyone in class responds with an uninterested murmuring. Not sure why, though. That all sounds exciting. She walks over to her desk and places down her pile of folders before flipping open her own special version of the history book. The magic one with all the answers in it. With a click of a button, she also turns on the projector to reveal a prepared slideshow for today's lecture. To learn about the extensive history of Assyrians and their culture is something I've yearned for.
If you can turn your book to page 36, we'll begin with the first chapter detailing the earliest interactions between Syrians and hominids.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I think I jinxed myself. Miss Procklin's history class is the polar opposite of Dawkins' photography class. While her introduction to the class engaged me at first, things have slowed down into an unbearably slow crawl. My eyes scan over the introductory text of the first chapter. Despite the tensions... Oh wait, here we go. Despite the tensions between the two groups, human settlers to the New World would continue to make overtures to trade to the native Velociraptor tribes. I'm pretty sure I've read this line 3 times now. I tear away from the page in hopes of blinking the boredom away. I look up to see the teacher staring down at various papers on her desk with laser focus. I mustn't stare too long though, because I end up locked in a staring contest with Procklin. She raises an eyebrow at me. Okay then, write down the notes of pages 3 through 7 about the discovery of the New World. Without even fully comprehending the words before me, I'm copying the page down to the letter in my notebook. Absent-mindedly, I begin to recall everything that's happened so far with my new classmates. Ben carries himself with a lot of refinement and is easily my first pick as a photography partner. But that Mia girl, she doesn't seem to want to make friends. Of course, I could have figured that out from the cold look she gave me yesterday, not to mention the rude hand gesture. Damien's very friendly, even if he can be a bit too enthusiastic sometimes. And though my encounter with Liz was brief, I can tell she's dependable. My progress in making friends has been pretty good, all things considered. But then there's Olivia. So far, she's still an enigma, and coupled with the apparent history she has with the others, it makes me all the more curious about her. Liz said it would be a bad idea to get invested, but in the end, it's effectively gossip and hearsay. This had to come as something of a shock to me, but...
And what do we have here, Miss Hofford?
The sudden voice Miss Procklin snaps me out of my thoughts. I lean my head to see the teacher looking down at... Wait a minute. Olivia's here too? As luck would have it, I share not one, but 2 classes with Olivia. I must have been so jaded from trying to read this text, but I didn't even notice the girl in the wheelchair. She sits in the front row diagonally in front of me, and I don't think she noticed this strange twist of fate herself.
Only the second day of school year, and you're already doodling in class again?
She proceeds to pick up the piece of paper from Olivia's desk. Looks like she's been drawing on it, though I can't tell what they are from here where I'm sitting.
Listen, Olivia, I know history isn't the most exciting subject to learn, but could you at least pretend like you're taking notes?
The only response I hear from Olivia is a heavy sigh, leaning her head back down. While the teacher returns to skulking around the room, Olivia hunches over a notebook. Although I don't think those are notes she's taking. Nah, no one would do something like that with the totalitarian teacher patrolling the room. It's an attempt to get all of us to focus, but I'm fighting a losing battle to keep my eyelids from shutting. My jaws clench tight to suppress the loud yawn building inside, even as Miss Procklin skulks right past me. Just before my drowsiness can overtake me, though, I notice minute movement in the corner of my eye. One of my classmates glances up at the teacher, whose eyes are roving the opposite side of the room, and down to scribbles something down. Oh, that was a weird sentence. All right. The paper is then folded into a neat little note, and I watch as the next person carefully unfolds the sheet and also scribbles on it before folding and passing it along again. Curiosity thoroughly piqued, and I wait anxiously in my seat for the paper to get to me. It's a dangerous game, passing the note along to Procklin so Procklin doesn't see. If I'm participating, does that mean I'm a slacker? The student to my side makes his move to toss the note over, but Procklin starts turning around right then. He flinches and drops the hot potato on my desk in a flash. I nearly slam my own paper over the page to cover it from sight. Miss Procklin continues the lecture about how the raptors and humans eventually started to get along because they traded narcotic leaves or something like that.
And as you can see from the board here...
Now, I lift my paper. Luckily, there's plenty of space left. As for what everyone else has drawn, a not-so-solid attempt at a race car, rough sketches of some eyes, a bunch of doodles, names in various stylized fonts that I could only describe as graffiti, and, of course, it's not high school, someone hasn't drawn a penis. Miss Procklin with stink lines coming off of her. Yeesh, better not get caught with this. That being said, I'm drawing a blank. What should I draw? I don't exactly doodle every day. Drawing stuff for others is a nice gesture. Maybe I'll try to break the ice a bit. Although I don't really know anything about her. Hey, can't hurt to try though, yeah? I can think of a few things to sketch out here. Let's see. Wait. And then Gator Girl. The snoot. The head. Oh boy, this is gonna be bad. Yep. Yep, there's tail. Yeah, we'll do that a little better. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah. and done. I have a lot of room to really work with, but as serendipitously admire my work I find. That I have a long way to go. It feels like I'm being mogged by the other doodles. Alright, Olivia's sure to like this. Miss Procklin is still turned around. Alright. I slipped the paper over Olivia's shoulder. I won't have to get up and risk getting caught. And here we go. It's a bit tricky and I hesitate, but the paper meets its destination. She doesn't even look back. She takes the paper eagerly. It's completely different from how she was acting earlier. Her tail is swaying side to side. Oh, is that wagging? Huh. Alright. Now she's gonna see my sketch and possibly think I'm cool. She's not turning around. She must be scared to look at perfection. Well, it's not much, so it could just...
I'll be taking that.
As Procklin snatches the paper from Olivia's claws, she holds her arms out. She takes a glance at the paper, and a small crack of a smile appears on her face before going back to a stoic visage.
So, is this how you view me, Miss Halford?
Procklin holds the paper up for all to see. Everyone in the class does their best to avoid her persecuting gaze.
I know that most of you were part of this as well. Look, I'm not asking for much. But please do your assignments when you're in class. It's the least you can do.
We were just passing a note at one at a time. She wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, how come all of us are in trouble? I noticed Procklin looked down at Olivia for a moment before letting out a sigh.
Look, since it's only the second day, I'll let this one slide, but I'm warning you now that I won't be so lenient the next time this happens. Otherwise, you'll end up like the last student who decided to be disruptive during class.
What happened to him? Get detention slip or something? Miss Procklin pulls up the window blinds and pushes the window screen open. She then takes out a walkie-talkie.
Scully, yep, another yippee. CH4. Good job, soldier. Now if we can continue.
We're on the second floor. I sink back into my seat and continue writing, mainly out of unadulterated fear of experiencing the same wrath from the teacher. Man, now I feel guilty for Olivia. I was the one that passed her that note after all. Maybe I shouldn't have tried. Well, I can always apologize after class. Miss Procklin places the note and continues with her lecture for another half hour. With 10 minutes of class left, I see Procklin look at the clock above the door. I then notice Olivia grabbing her attention as if she knew what she's already going to say. The teacher nods her head. Olivia grabs her backpack and shoves all her things into it. In silence, she wheels herself to the door, opens it, and rolls out. The teacher must have noticed me watching her leave.
Accommodations.
Well, there goes my chance of saying sorry to her. Feeling defeated, I decide to focus on writing down my notes for the rest of the time left. Although I do wonder... She must have noticed my doodle. Did she just ignore it? Class comes and goes, and I head home on the metro. Another day, another dollar. Well, this time I pass on the mini breakfast burrito. After how bad they messed me up during PE, I don't want my stomach to endure that again. Instead, I just have a few hash browns from a fast food joint by the metro. Idly scroll through my feed as I usually do while Metro jostles about to my destination. It's been a few days now, and the strange scent of extremely cheap detergent and alcohol have become an afterthought. Some of the vines are actually plastic, and the flowers are little air fresheners. That's not actually something I noticed, more so witnessed when a passenger tried eating one. Ah, dumb bitch. Some of the vines are real, though. For some reason, they go untouched anyways. Maybe they're just not tasty? Vegetarians don't eat grass in their lawns after all. Right? Eh. Anyway, as the lights gone out, someone dropped a wrecking ball next to me. Must be Mr. Ferris. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Good morning, Inko.
Good morning. How's work going?
It has, slowly, but very thorough. I hate the idea of a place of learning not being an ideal place to learn. And I appreciate our talks. It has really helped me understand the student body more. We're gonna do a little, there we go.
You're welcome. Hey, have you given any thought to the fashion thing?
I have, although I can't really say I really get it.
There's plenty to see everywhere if you just look around.
Really? Like what?
Well, look at the girl on the other end of the car there.
It's rather revealing. I don't think that's really for me. I love my wife.
I just mean as an example.
Well, there's an event coming up. I could see about trying something new. What would you recommend?
That's a good question. What would be a good use here? In my inner eye, I conceptualize the coolest possible Ferris. The fresh machine is going full throttle. First, sunglasses. His eyes may be a little too far apart for that. I don't know, that still looks fine. Like, I don't think they'd come straight out like that. Maybe like contoured to the side of his head. I could see Mr. Ferris rocking some fucking pit vipers. A beanie? Moving on. Big guns, fresh jacket. There we go, the coolest possible Ferris. Captain Ferris. Off the sail. Do they really... Is Mr. Ferris just fucking Captain Ahab and he's the whale? Is that what they went with there?
Mr. Nito?
Sorry, just thinking. Why don't you start with... Sunglasses. Yeah. Get some suns.
Really now? Those all sound rather expensive. Yeah,
they are. You know what? Try a gold chain necklace.
A what?
Yeah, just make sure it's appropriately sized so it doesn't look silly. I'm sure it would go a long way. They're pretty cheap to get.
Well, alright, I'll take your word for it. We sure talk about fashion a lot, though. Is that really all everyone's about these days?
Oh, of course not. What do you want to know about?
What's YOLO mean? I heard the term thrown around recently.
That was like 5 years ago.
Oh.
Art. Mr. Dawkins had just started talking about our first project for the class. As soon as he said the word, Olivia's hand shot up. Her gray eyes sparkled in excitement, and a smile threatened to crush the perpetual frown etched on her snoot. The girl vibrates in her seat as she waves her arm in the air, trying to get the attention of the teacher's attention, waving around like she just don't care. Dawkins' own smile was strained as he and Olivia engaged in a staring contest with one another. I could only marvel as the two argued with each other without a single word. Eventually, Dawkins won by turning off the lights and turning on the cheap projector hanging from the ceiling, and playing a safety video about paint that felt far too graphic for school. I don't think I'll be able to eat barbecue for a while. Thoroughly defeated, Olivia crosses her arms and pouts in her seat. And that is why we won't be using any more exotic materials for any projects, Miss Halford. Maybe I should have skipped breakfast entirely. Alright. Which one was it?
Was it this one? This one? I still don't see the problem. Or was this one? God damn it.
Alright, fuck it, we're not doing it. Once you've all had the proper safety handling course, in the second semester, you'll be allowed to use oil-based paints. Until that time, however, all assignments will require safer supplies. Now, since we pivoted to this, might as well finish the full video. The grumpy gator holds a hand to her throat, mumbling to herself as she grabs a metal flask and drinks from it. The entire display from her was mystifying, at odds with how Ben and Liz described Olivia. In fact, it kind of reminded me of me. I can understand why, after all, Dawkins has letting Ben and I use some of his equipment in photography. That thrill of experimentation, of new possibilities, no doubt that it brings a creative sparkle to her eyes. Eyes that fill with pure malice as they glare daggers my way. Oh, was I staring? Oops. Before I can offer an apology, she already had her hands on the wheels. She rolls up to Dawkins' desk. He leans forward intently. I can't make out anything that's said through the video, but going by the occasional glare back, it's not hard to imagine. Snitches get stitches, Olivia. Alright. Dawkins notices I'm watching and motions me to come forward. Slowly, I shift out of my seat and approach the desk. Alright, something going on here. Dawkins speaks in a hushed tone, just loud enough for me to hear over the makeshift matinee. Olivia's been telling me you're making goofy faces at her. No. I said he's been staring at me all through the class. Huh. It's weird. Like he's never seen someone like me. Can't you move him to a different seat? Now hold on a sec there, Olivia. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding. Mr. Dawkins. It's not like she's a different person here. She fishes out her canteen of water and brings it to her mouth. You're given a lot of leeway when it comes to seat assignment, but asking for something like this... I just want him to leave me alone. She sips again. What's that about? Well then, Inko, you tell us. What's on your mind? Can't have disagreements between classmates this early in the year. I'm confused. I don't know. I didn't know there was a disagreement between us. Well, sometimes it's little things you don't even think about that affect people the most. Anything that come to mind? I shake my head. Olivia's glare doesn't diminish away from my field of view. I mean, I've been a bit curious about her since we sit next to each other, and I'm friends with some of her friends. We all sat together at lunch yesterday. Hidaka nods to himself thoughtfully. Sounds like he just wants to hang out, Olivia. Her face crunches at the mere thought. Not really interested. He's distracting me from classwork. I want to watch the video about being gawked without being gawked at. Sorry, I didn't mean it. Does that resolve the issue for you, Olivia? No, I don't want some buddy in this class. She goes to take another sip, but ends up turning the canteen upside down. All out. Ugh. Olivia, you can go fill that up if you want. You won't be missing anything. The video's nothing you don't already know, I'm sure. Olivia eyes me suspiciously and slowly moves out the door towards the nearest water fountain. Does she roll out backwards? That'd be a baller move. Hidaka sighs. Alright. He leans back in his chair with his arms resting behind his head. Inko, I told you yesterday, if the air needs clearing, do it yourself. Now she's in a mood because you were staring at her like a weirdo. And here I thought you two would get along. She even gave you that sketch she made of you. Truthfully, I'm impressed, but here we are. What's going on, big guy? Again, sorry. It's been pretty busy few days. Yeah, I've gotten into a cool friend group. We all gonna sit together at lunch. Olivia's there too. She didn't say much, but I got her a soda. Don't know why she's so upset at me. It's nothing personal, Inko. It's not? She's... Alright. That's the word I need. Alright. Reticent. How do they go from Snoot Game to this?
Reticent.
Reticent? Fuck me, I missed that entirely. Alright. She's reticent, especially when it comes to change. Alright, what's that word fucking... Alright. Reticent mean. Reticent means either quiet or restrained. If you're reticent about something, your feelings, you like to keep them to yourself, and you're probably quiet in rowdy groups where everyone is talking over each other. That's just a fancy word for introvert, goddammit. If you're at her lunch period too, I can see why she'd be wary of you. If you don't mind me asking, Mr. Dawkins. Yes? Why is she so open with you? How do you mean? Just now, she spoke more in that conversation than all the other times I've seen her yesterday. I saw the canteen had something to do with her voice, but it's surprising. Her water bottle's the other way around. It's unfortunate, but she just really rarely talks at all. And I guess she just really trusts me. I've known her since she was a freshman. She seemed to gravitate towards art and how I taught it. And soon enough, I took her under my wing. But she lives with Damien, right? He's at the lunch table and she still barely talks to him. Poor kid. Hope he's doing alright. He seems to be alright. But yeah, she's distant to everyone else. So much so, I keep hearing weird things about her. Hidaka leans forward in his chair, suddenly attentive. Is this what you were gossiping about with Ben? A bit. He showed up to the table and said something about her being the same after she left. Probably some drama there, but I don't want to pry. He nods. But also, Liz told me some weird things too. He stops nodding. I know of her. Is something wrong? No, she just said that I shouldn't get invested in being her friend. Everyone's being really weird about it, so I was just curious for myself. Guess that's why I was looking at her weird. Sorry. Hidaka rubs his temples. Yeah. It's worse than I thought. What is? I'll put it this way. You met 3 people that know Olivia other than me. Of the 3, only one thinks highly of her, and the other 2 start unloading drama on anyone willing to listen. In this case, you. No wonder you're confused. I hadn't thought of it like that. I don't blame you. You shouldn't have been involved in anything stupid. High schoolers, you know? I guess. Don't patronize me, teacher. I know everything. Vidalkin Hell's collecting his thoughts. Important question, then. Do you really want to be Olivia's friend? Huh? I mean, yeah, I guess. A judging eyebrow is raised my way. Are you really, or just curious about her? He seems pretty serious about this. Yes, then. Olivia returns to class and rolls right back up to the desk. Back. Have you changed his desk yet? Vidalkin nudges his head towards me expectantly, prodding me on. I'm sorry I distracted you during class, Olivia. Ugh. She looks at Vidalkin and gets a similar nod. Sure. I mean, you're welcome. I mean, thanks. Shit. But, no, really. I don't want to be distracted. Come on now, Olivia. The least you could do is give him another chance. You never know. Alright, one more.
I don't really want to know. I get he's like friends with Damien. I really don't want to know, you know. Not in this class.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking do that. It's gonna bother me too. But I'd like to be your friend. She stops and raises an eyebrow. Lots of those going around recently. Like she was expecting this response. She looks to Dawkins for help. Actually, Olivia, I think he's gonna be a good friend for you. Brr. What? His words were like a battering ram. I'm simply saying to give him a chance. You can almost see the imaginary bulwark she hid behind slowly crumbling from what Vidalkin was saying. You are both quite similar at heart, though you may have different methods. Perhaps you'll find some compromise between cynicism and naivety if you work together. Finally, the last fragments of her imaginary fortress collapse. Olivia can only look at the art teacher with timid confusion painted across her features. Well, I don't... Are you for real, Mr. Dawkins? I mean, he's actually in another class of mine. I've seen him. He's passionate about his camera like you are with a brush. And I do expect great things from him. Okay. Sorry, I thought, Oh. She actually bit her tongue. Her mouth is clamped shut. It's just my opinion. You can make your own choices, Olivia. She nods furiously. Yep, movie's about to end. You two should get back to your seats. We good here? Olivia side-eyes me again and nods once more. All right. He motions for us to skedaddle. Olivia backs away to her spot. Thanks, Mr. Dawkins. For what? I just have an opinion. I'm serious. It's up to you two if you want to be friends. Don't screw up. He waves me off again. I get back to my seat and stare absentmindedly at the projected screen as I digest Dawkins' words. He said he only gave his opinion, but it seems like he also gave me an opportunity to take the right steps in connecting with Olivia. And with that he said about her being passionate with a brush has got me even more curious about her artistic prowess. Speaking of whom, I noticed that she occasionally gives me a side-eye. I don't think she can only see my eyes due to the dim lighting combined with my shades. She stares at me with a sense of strange curiosity, almost as if she's trying to get a read from my face alone. But from what I can tell by her facial cues, she seems confused and almost shaken up. It's like she wants to say something, but keeps backing away at the last second. Guess her mind is also jostling around from Dawkins' words. Teacher flicks the light switch and I feel my retina burn from the bright lamplights, even with my sunglasses. Alright, Normally, in your first week, we'd be going over something simple, like a color swatch. However, I think you all can manage something a bit more advanced. The Gator Girl's head whipped around at the word advanced. Whatever Olivia was thinking before regarding me seems to be forgotten, as she focuses almost entirely on the teacher. Mr. Dawkins holds up a stack of paper for us to see. First things first, I'd like you all to fill out these topic sheets so that I know you understand how to safely handle oil-based paints. Last thing we need is another burnt-down classroom. The way Dawkins says those words makes me imagine some pretty horrible outcomes. Once you finish your sheets, bring them here so I can review them. I'll be giving away the permission sheet after I know you won't set yourselves on fire or poisoned. The Allosaur guy in front of me hands back the stack, and I take a page from it before heading the rest to the Diplo girl behind me. My eyes scan over the sheet. What grade of mass do snouts longer than 3 inches require? And a realization hits me. I didn't see the first half of that fucking video. I scan over the page and I groan where I see questions I have no answers for. All of them pertaining to dinosaur anatomy. The art teacher looks directly at me, then to the side. I try to decipher his meaning, follow his eyes. Oh. I turn in my seat and lean closer to Olivia. Hey, what? What now? What? What is it? I'm not gonna let you draw me. What the hell? Looking at her paper, I see that she's already answered the questions I couldn't. I show her my own page, tapping the upper section that was still blank. Olivia groans and looks to Dawkins pleadingly. All she gets for her troubles is a thumbs up. Fine. Fine. Here. She holds out her sheet for me. Wait, isn't this cheating? The art teacher wouldn't. When did he get to his desk? Why does he have a sleeping mask? If I look over the answers, I still learn the safety procedures. So what's the difference in the end? That must be what he's thinking. Either that or he doesn't care. I copy the words from Olivia's sheet, doing my best to at least rephrase them. Some of my classmates are already walking up to Dawkins' desk. He's barely reading the pages, not even taking the sleeping mask off. Thanks, Olivia. Whatever. Olivia finishes her page in a few seconds and wheels herself to the desk. The last answer I'm fairly confident on, like what flashpoint means. I get up and go to Dawkins' desk and set my safety assignment down. Good. Here's your permission slip to use hazardous paints. I'm gonna huff the shit out of those at Dawkins. You didn't even bother to look down over at my worksheet. He lifts the eye mask from his face and looks at me with one eye. What? Most of that doesn't apply to you, Iko. Just don't drink the paint or get in your eyes, you'll be okay. Yes, Mr. Dawkins. But do they have human PPE? I need proper PPE, Mr. Dawkins. This needs to be OSHA approved. I can't handle hazardous paint with a snoot mask. I don't have a snoot. Attaboy. Now get back to your desk and wait for class to end. Tomorrow I'll be starting you on something simple, like painting a cube or a ball. Yeah, model dodgeball painting. IMS drops down and I return to my seat. Oh, you sassy bitch, Dawkins. The class clock reads 5 minutes until lunch. Olivia's back to leering at me. I consider what I should say some sort of icebreaker. Mr. Dawkins said we're similar. Let's see what that... I can see some of what he means. But I'm a photographer and she's a painter. We're from practically 2 different worlds. So a cubist and a dadaist walk into a bar. Bing bong. Have a good lunch now. The moment the bell rang, Olivia shoves shoves all her shit into her backpack, not caring if the notebooks get crushed. Fuck yeah. Once she zips up, she races out of the classroom. Guess she doesn't want to get caught in the chaos of the lunchroom stampede. I managed to avoid getting stuck in the frenzy by shuffling along the walls the long way around the lunchroom. It's a bit longer, but at least there's less risk of getting used as an improvised meat club. Hey, why don't I just go in through the courtyard? It's right next to the table. Damn it. Next time. Hey, is there a palm tree or something by the table now? Never seen one trunk that's green. I get around the last of the crowd and approach the table. Damien's here, chowing down on a sandwich stacked with various meats. And like yesterday, Olivia's already at the table. Hey Damien, you seen Liz? I thought she'd be joining us for lunch. Without a word, Damien points to the palm tree next to us. Oh crap, that's not a tree. I look up to see Liz's head in the rafters, prodding at the vines on the ceiling. The ceiling was a lot lower than the computer lab, so I couldn't easily tell. But that neck is long. Anyways. Hey Liz. Hey Inko, couldn't see you from up there till I heard you. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and get my food from the vending machines again. Make my way over to the vending machines. I do the same song and dance I did last time. A card swipe and a few button presses later earned me a couple cans of soda, 2 bags of chips, and a few candy bars. It's like when the teacher asked if you brought enough candy for everyone, only now it's true. I head back to our table to bundle with foodstuffs in my makeshift pouch and distribute them. Olivia gets her share, but she doesn't say anything. Aw, sweet. Aw, thank you, Inko. Damien, if you'd be so kind. Already on it. Damien cracks open a can of soda just as Liz lowers her head next to him. She's wearing a novelty soda cap. He then speed swaps the old can with the new one, almost like he's swapping wheels on a Formula race car. Thank you. No problemo. Liz's head cranes back up to the top of the ceiling to continue eating the foliage. So, Inko, how's your day been so far? It's been pretty decent, I'd say. I'm mostly looking forward to photography, since Ben will show me some good photo spots. Cool, cool. Damien just nods as he continues to munch at his sandwich. I think he zoned out about halfway through my sentence. Oh, and also, Liz helped me submit my contest entry. Awesome! Can always rely on Liz to help you out. Flattery will get you nowhere, Damien. Just saying the honest truth. Liz entered the contest too, right? Everyone's been trying to win the cash prize. Money's okay. Liz comes down with a mouthful of leaves. Her hands hold up a tray with each segment filled with a different sauce. But the real prize is having your submission featured on the sponsor's magazine cover and in a featured article. How's she still articulate? Do you have any idea how great that looks on a resume? Heck, I can probably get a scholarship with that alone. Whoa, you really got all this planned out. What'd you submit? She takes a moment to swallow her salad and then shares a huge grin. I submitted my best digital art piece. Oh, what is it? Here. The tray is set aside so she can bring out her phone to show Damien and me her entry. It looks to be a village townhouse piece, very rustic and classy. It looks pretty good. Yo, that's so cool. That looks so realistic. Thanks. Took me about a week to really blend some of the more fancier elements into each other. I based it off my grandfather's home from the old country. This is amazing. You can't even tell the whole thing's digital art at all. Man, I'm really fucking up Damien's voice. I forgot what I went with him. Man, I got like 3 voices. Damien grabs hold of Liz's phone, turns towards Olivia. Hey, Olivia. She jumps up, having been suddenly made relevant to the conversation she was just spectating. What? I'm not giving these chips back. They're mine. I was just gonna show you Liz's entry. Olivia narrows her eyes and leans over to see the image on Liz's phone. She then looks up and gives Damien a quick nod before returning to eating her chips. Damien's smile falters a little at her minimal response, though he's back to his usual grin as Liz takes her phone back. Wow, Liz, I didn't know you were so into digital painting. That looks great. Do you plan on being an artist after graduating? Aw, thanks. Well, no, I don't plan on being an artist per se. The plan is to be an antiques dealer, specifically with art. What's that mean? It means she buys the splatter canvases everyone else just uses for money laundering. No, I'll be doing the real stuff. There's a real market out there for it. So I'm taking the AP business class and using the school's prestigious art program. That's actually why I picked this place out. There's a real elite section of graduates from here. Oh, you're the school treasurer too, right? Sure am. I'm doing everything to make sure I'm ready for the real deal. I do love painting though. It's not that just an ends to means. Maybe that's why I get into trading, so I can get the right people the right art they need. That's very thoughtful, huh? I should start thinking of my future more. I wonder what Olivia thinks about this, even if it's an interest. Damien is just exaggeratedly nodding his head up and down. I don't know if he's agreeing with Liz or headbanging to some tune. I look to the side to see Olivia staring down at the chips, looking pensive. I guess I'm not the only one that's a bit worried about our long-term plans after school. But we got the whole year still. What about you, Damien? Don't really have a goal set. Only reason I'm here is because it's closest to our home. Damien, you know I keep telling you about planning ahead. I know. I just like keeping my options open. So what are you doing in school? I just picked out any classes that seem interested to me. Though I gotta say, home economics is pretty fun. I get to make food in class and eat it. From learning skills in class like that, you'd be a perfect husband. Yeah. Wait, what? What? But to get to my point, the art contest. If I win and get that interview, that's a massive advantage. I'll say. By the way, Olivia, did you submit something for the art contest? Oh. She looks away, slightly deflated. No. Really? Oh crap, I might have a chance then. Hey Liz, that sounds a certain way. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Olivia rolls her eyes and merely goes back to munching on her chips. Mr. Dawkins said you're really into painting. And I really like the portrait of me you made. Whoa! She what? Her suspicious leer is now replaced with a murderous glare. Yep, lunch is the perfect time to eat my feet. Haven't actually seen any of her work, only something she'd done out of boredom. Olivia's eyes close as she inhales deeply, the air of neutrality returning to her once she reopens them. She looks me up and down again as though something will be different this time. Can't. What's that mean? Besides, even if I could, they're just going to be looking for best artists here, so you got to show that to them with how good your art is. But I just don't want them to look at me and feel like they have to give me a reward out of pity. Damien's face is frozen mid-bite, his sandwich losing its meat integrity by the second as his eyes flick between Olivia and I can practically hear the blaring alarm in his head as his brain catches fire trying to connect dots. I want to be judged for my art and not. Olivia struggles to formulate the next few words and lets out a very wary sigh. It would just feel undeserved. How? Yeah, how? Damien, shh. Has that ever happened before? Do people really do that? You weren't here for it. Some loser used to even tell me to take advantage of it. Why not? That was a bad move. Dude, seriously? Why? So I can constantly get reminded of myself? So I can't separate myself from my work? So I can get complacent being worse? So I eventually rely on it? So the playing the field can be even? That's a lull at once. Not really sure I got all of that, but I definitely touched a nerve I shouldn't have. No, sorry. Olivia brushes her hair down. Look, I don't want to get awards and praise I haven't earned. I'm seriously not that good. I really wouldn't win. She sighs and takes a long sip of cola. Can I see some of your work? No. Man, she really shouldn't put herself down like that. I get it. A lot of the students here are crazy good at art. Some are probably better now than I'll ever be, and they're just starting. It's pretty scary to think about. I mean, like that landscape of the city near the principal's office. Landscape? Hold on, I took a shot of it. It's a bit tough getting my camera out now with all the books I needed for class in the way. I lay the contents of my backpack, taking my treasured DSLR out last. After finding the shot in question in the menus, I turned the display towards everyone else so they could see the glamour shot. A freshman made that painting. Just from looking at it, I can see why it won first place. I drew that. Oh. Her name is on it, isn't it? My brain finally makes the connection to the signature on the mural. That was you? Is it that much of a shocker to you? Quite a bit, yeah. It looks amazing. I mean, it's whatever. And some dumb guide helped me out, so it's not like I was the one who did it. So when you say you can't enter, is it because you already won once? Yeah, basically. She looks away from us, eating her chips in silence. I've heard the expression of being one's worst critic, but I never expect Olivia to kick herself this hard. I mean, I'm mentally kicking myself thrice over just for thinking that last part. What? Something wrong, Liz? Did she bite her tongue or something? Why is she imitating one of those picture plans right now? Liz. What's with the net look, long neck? Just surprised to see you in better spirits is all. You're making it weird. Don't make it weird. Yeah, it's been ages, Olivia. To think a Randy like Inky here got you to open up just like this in 2 days. He gestures at me. What'd you do, man? The girl in question freezes, Damien's thoughtless comments having thrust her into self-awareness. And she just leaves. Olivia, wait. She's gone. Well, she did give a warning. Yeah. I was just excited she was making good progress. The rest of lunch we'd spent trying to talk about Liz's art process. Damien looked like he wanted to try to bring Olivia back into the conversation, but no one had any idea where she had gone. Still, a part of me thinks she wants to talk. So why doesn't she? It's vampire rules, you have to invite her in first. Sadly, a question for another time, as Olivia's departure seems to signal the end of lunch. At least Les and Damien wave goodbye, leaving me to clean up all the trash from the table, including everything I'd removed from my backpack. Darn it. Photography class comes and goes. Since we're partners, it often gives Ben and I the green light to walk around the campus. Ben shows me around to see his prime photo spots and such, and as such becomes my impromptu tour guide. It's actually pretty neat to see the parts of school that I haven't yet explored. Places like the music hall, recreational pool were the most interesting. Currently at the courtyard, Ben points out the views of the outer landscapes around the school. No wonder why Ben was eager to show me. These views are impeccable. But while he's explaining the image he has in his head, my mind still wanders back to Olivia. I wonder, what did I do to make her express herself so much? Inko. Huh. I was asking if you'd be able to something during the weekend to take photos. Oh, I'm free Saturday. Excellent. We can meet up back here. Sounds good. As we head back to class, I begin to think if there's something I can do in history. Back in history class, Miss Procklin continues rattling on about, oh god.
And after a final offensive that left the entire city of Triceratops destroyed, the Chthonian hegemony was defeated, bringing an end to the crimes against both Dino and humankind.
Oh god.
With that, the Dino-Human War came to an end and peace was finally declared after 10 years of strife. Of course, there was the matter of rebuilding and dousing all those fires still burning, as well as what to do with all the bodies.
I should probably care more about Miss Procklin's lecture since history has extremely strong cultural connotations, but man is it boring. Ahead of me, Olivia has returned to her default sullen, defeated gloom. She's not glaring back at me, so she's probably over whatever that was. Or she still doesn't know I'm here. Boy, will that be entertaining to see. Assuming I don't end up with a mechanical pencil jammed through a lens. The other students are similarly bored, only occasionally marking down something whenever it sounds like it'll be on a review sheet at the end of the week. There is, of course, no more note passing today. Miss Procklin's effusion yesterday must still be on their minds. There won't be any more chances given, and even though she doesn't seem threatening on her own, the consequences would be dire. Especially if she calls Sully over like her own personal enforcer. There's simply no getting around it. There's just a period we'll have to sit through. There isn't any solidarity to be had on our shared misery. It's simply the reality of high school history. The only saving grace is that she isn't talking around the room looking for us to do something wrong. Instead, we're being lectured at. My hand mechanically copies down whatever she's writing on the board. And while I should also be paying attention to Miss Procklin, I'm more than certain that we'll be reading the exact same things from our heavy textbook. So my eyes wander away from her and the board to scan over my peers, all equally as bored and feigning interest. Eventually, there's a bit of movement ahead of me. What's she up to now? Olivia folds a sheet of notebook paper and forth discreetly, creating a deep crease. She then licks her finger and runs it along the crease and gently pulls. The paper rips along the seam silently. Oh, is she really risking it? What she even got to gain? It's just a note passing game. Maybe she feels bad because she got caught yesterday? Oh boy. Olivia passes a note to her left. The student next to her raises an eyebrow, but surprisingly takes the note. And immediately passes it on without looking at it. One by one, my classmates pass the note along to the next. Nobody dares open the note and write something in it. I surreptitiously keep track of the note in the corner of my eye as it makes its circuit around the room. Thankfully, Miss Procklin's eyes are focused on the board when I feel a tap on my shoulder. I reach for my ear as it goes to give it a scratch, and the folding pieces push into my fingers. As I feel an edge grind against my earlobe, I chew my lip to keep the hiss of pain contained. Probably unintentional, but a paper cut still stings bad, especially on such a fleshy part. My fingers toy with the bundle of paper now at my desk. It's a hate crime. Lawyer up. No one else is bothered with it. I wouldn't exactly call it an empty canvas, but there could be potential here. There's a crumpling noise beneath my fingertips. Must have unfolded it while I was thinking. Looking at the sole doodle on the sheet, I see a pretty simple rat drawing with a very realistic hand next to it giving a thumbs up. There's plenty of space this time. And Miss Procklin is preoccupied at the front. I doubt she'd even notice. The tension is there, making my fingers itch at finally getting a real chance to do something fun. In fact, I have the perfect idea in mind that'd catch Olivia's attention. If that doesn't ruin everything, that is. She's not uncompassionate, but Miss Procklin has a lot less tolerance for horseplay in her class. We probably wouldn't get another chance. And going by Coach Sully's one chance policy and how these guys aren't even considered playing along, I bet it really wouldn't be pretty. Kind of makes me concerned for Olivia. I could just hold on to the note and give it back after class. Heck, Olivia would never even know. I don't think she even knows I'm in this class. Draw the gator girl on a half pipe. And what's life without a little risk? I wait for Miss Procklin to start a new tangent to make sure I have enough time. She just said something about the single continent movement. Time to move. It's going to be basically a stick figure, but it's just a doodle. If only you could doodle a photograph. I'm not sure what I mean by that. I also don't know how to draw a wheelchair. Oh, yeah, I proved that earlier too. In the end, it looks more like an abstract depiction of a bow-legged T-Rex. Oops, will have to do. I check it over one last time as I had the conceptualization to improve it. Ah well, I pass the note forward, careful to not notify the teacher. Olivia takes the note over her shoulder, once more not checking it. She seems to deflate a bit on opening the note. Probably because of all the blank space. Doesn't look like she recognizes whatever I did either. Maybe I should talk about it with her after class. I don't know. Seems like an okay thing to do. She just passed the note again. What? Once more, the process of students taking the note and passing along without looking at it. Although this time it's a little more collectively annoyed. It probably won't go around again. Why the heck would Olivia send the note around again? Nobody's going to change their mind and draw something now. Is it desperation? Thoughtlessness? Whatever it is, the note's come my way again. Once I take it, I confirm that yes, once again, nobody else wrote anything. However, there is a new doodle of a rat with a flamethrower. Cute. Alright, I guess this time I'll draw. How about adding myself to the sketch of the half pipe? This time I depict myself as a stick figure. No use trying to go outside my skill level for a note passing game. Simple enough. I even include my sunglasses. Yeah. Maybe I should also make sure Miss Procklin isn't looking my way. Yeah, she's not right now. I'm in luck. Although, time to pass this on. I pass the note forward once more. Olivia pinches the note between two fingers, still not looking back. I keep saying that, but I guess that's not weird. Why would you look back in that situation? She checks the note and looks a bit down again. She glances up from the corner I drawn in. Whack. I nearly fall out of my seat from the loud noise. There's a moment, unwavering silence before a voice speaks up.
Miss Halford.
The girl in question shrinks in her seat in embarrassment. Sorry, Miss Procklin, I saw a spider. Miss Procklin simply sighs, muttering to herself and turning her attention back to writing more notes on the board. She turns her head back slowly, just enough to be able to make eye contact with me. While she eyes me with judging contempt and curiosity, I see her hand is tenderly massaging the tip of her tail. Looking at the floor, I think she managed to chip the linoleum. As soon as Procklin turns around to continue teaching, Olivia scribbles something down. She turns to look at me once more, hesitating, then flicks the note in my direction. It completely misses me. I try to catch it midair, but end up slamming my face in the desk to get it.
Mr. Nito, what was that noise?
I palm the note in my sleeve and strain to keep my injured eye open. The teacher probably meant the foot stomping. I found that spider, Miss Procklin. The teacher grimaces.
That better be cleaned up by the end of class then, Mr. Nito.
Yes, ma'am. I breathe a sigh of relief as my excuse weathers Miss Procklin's stare. She turns a few pages in a textbook lying on her desk, instructing the class to do the same as she reaches for something. She's distracted. I can finally see what Olivia drew. There's now a surprisingly detailed dodgeball whizzing toward my stick figure's head. I want to be upset, but I find myself admiring her motion lines. Seriously, she should be an animator. I mull over what to add and settle on giving the large rat sunglasses as well. A few seconds later, he looks twice as cool as before. I look up to Olivia, pondering how to get it back to her, when a sinister idea comes to mind. Her hood hangs open as it rests on her back. It's a tough shot, but... Bingo. Olivia scratches at her back of her neck and finds the note. She looks back with squinted eyes, judging my intent and scanning me for foul play. She mouths something at me, a question I think, but I'm not the most apt-lipped reader. Especially when said lips are thrice as long as a human's. Still, she unfolds the page, and seconds later, she's already added a new sketch and folded it up. The note lands neatly on my desk this time, and I inspect the latest edition. More rats doing decidedly non-rat activities. I wonder what she'd think of a cat this time. We continue passing the sheet back and forth, adding new sketches. My fingers are starting to tire when Miss Procklin addresses Olivia.
All right, Miss Halford, you may leave now. Everyone else, you may take the last 5 minutes to start on your homework.
Olivia takes her time to pack away her supplies, occasionally glancing my way. Gone is the paranoia, it's now she's just plain confusion. As I wouldn't play the doodle game thing with her. Even as she wheels out of the room, I notice her eyes still on me. I give her a wave goodbye, and she seems shocked by that, turning her head and finally passing through the door. Right then, homework. Ah, crap. It only occurs to me that there's a good reason the teacher doesn't want us slacking off. For the last 5 minutes, I try to speed read the second chapter in its entirety. Failing to get any good information to use for today's homework, I resolve to just check online for a lecture that's not as boring. Maybe one with good animation. When the rest of us are finally excused, I realize I still got the page full of doodles. Considering all the stuff on it, it'd feel like a waste to just toss it away. I decide to keep it, slipping into one of my binder's extra plastic sleeves. With everything safely packed, I shoulder my backpack and exit the room. Oh. Man, now I get why Olivia gets to leave class early. The halls are so packed and chaotic once class ends, I always end up being pushed around by rowdy students headed towards their next class. Once school ends, it's even worse. When I saw it yesterday, it was something else. The word riptide comes to mind. I ended up just waiting around for a few minutes for the flow to die. It's looking like that's just going to be my routine now. I pass by a few more art displays on my way to the stairs back down to the first floor. This isn't the art wing, but there's still a bunch of displays up. Maybe there simply isn't enough space? Something presses into my chest and lurches me to a stop. It's Olivia holding out an arm. She's still staring up at me, though less suspiciously. Her jaw's open, but no sound comes out. She realizes her hand is still out and retracts it awkwardly, indecisively darting between her hoodie pockets and her armrests. Is she expecting something? Oh, the note maybe? Hey, you could have told me, that you were Miss Procklin's class too. You could have mentioned that. Sorry, guess I was sort of aiming for a bit dramatic reveal there. She brushes her hair aside. Well, whatever. Later, I guess. Why'd you stop me out here? She stops her chair mid-turn, with gray eyes contemplating the dirty floor. I don't really get you. Olivia's eyes turn back to me, and now I can see the nervousness in her pupils. Why do you care? Why indeed? Well, I guess the main reason is I want to be friends. With me, though? Sure. Those tiny moments in which I saw the Gator Girl hyperanimate come to mind, and I can't help but smile. The small shows of just genuine feelings. I think Mr. Adakin was right, honestly. Olivia hums in disagreement, finally turning away. Ah, crap. Maybe that was a little too forward of me. I swing my backpack around so I can reach inside it. I still have that note. Note? Whoa, the doodles from class right now? Why? Just figured you'd want it. It was fun filling it out and all. Just as I'm about to pull out of my binder, the Gator Girl looks back at me and shakes her head. It's just doodles. You can throw it out. Keep it. If it's so important. For the briefest second, I swore I saw her mouth form a tiny smile. But now she's back to looking neutrally at... Huh. I didn't notice the school had elevators. Why don't more people use it? She flashes a key from her pocket. So it's part of her accommodations. Makes sense? By now, the hallway is cleared up a bit. The elevator arrives and Olivia rolls in. She moves her arm to push the buttons and jams the key in some slot. What's that look for? You coming? Oh. I slide in beside Olivia just before the door closes. It's probably safe to catch your foot in just to reopen, but man, this thing is ancient. There's an inspection certificate, damn it. I'm getting tired. Lazily plastered above the door from the side. It's covered in coffee stains and other signs of age. Is this thing really safe? Olivia shrugs. What's the worst that can happen? Our legs break? She eyes me with a smirk. This may have been a mistake. Ka-chunk. My heart drops as the space around me seems to drop for a split second. The sound of the worn out elevator mechanics fill the cramped space. Make awkward small talk. Fart. Do something. How slow is this thing? I look over to Olivia. She uses this thing daily. Surely it normally runs smoother. Her mouth hangs slightly open in an amused grin, watching my sudden onset claustrophobia. Relax, dude. This is normal. Alright, this is normal. The thing jostles around like it's going to drop any second. It's completely normal. When we reach the bottom, the doors clunk open and I practically fall out. Olivia casually rolls from behind. Somehow I sense with a degree of superiority. Anyway, see you later. Oh yeah, see ya. Olivia rounds a corner and I'm left on my lonesome. My senses return to me and I start making way to the metro station. As I make the journey home, it strikes me how much progress I've made with Olivia. It's definitely still in an awkward phase, but I can see that she's opening up little by little. And it's starting to become amusing seeing her get confused by my friendly gestures. All in all, I got a good feeling about this. Liz and Ben sure were overreacting though. I'll be sure to tell them all about it. Alright, we save there. Save. And that's it. Good night.